It's a bear. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Well, actually, this is a shot of the Deerfield underwater cam next to the pier right down the street from us. Great shot. I'm just trying to change it up a little bit instead of showing you the pier and the beach every day. It is a live cam. Take a look at all those pilchards going by. And look, some poor bastard right here has his fishing line stuck on the pillar. Well, if you're a fisherman, you certainly understand that. But again, we're not here to talk about fishing piers. We're here to talk about gold and silver. And the topic of the day is I want to give a shout out to the SilverSqueeze people, or any of the SilverSqueeze people that might be listening here. I want to pass a message along. Meanwhile, gosh, isn't that a great picture? Again, this is the Deerfield Beach live underwater cam, and you can see some amazing fish. This is happening right now as we speak. And those not familiar with saltwater fishing, these are pilchards. They make great bait fish. We use them for all kinds of things. Well, let me kind of move out of here and move into the screenshot. At SilverSqueeze, they always lie. And they do. They always lie, whether it's government officials, politicians, or people managing markets nowadays. It's like you just don't know who to trust anymore. You certainly can't trust corporate media. It's hard to trust. Well, anyways, you just have to find people out there you trust, and it'll give you straight answers. And that's hard to find. And as I said, SilverSqueeze, to the SilverSqueeze folks, they always lie. So, and what are they lying about? Well, this week the big news is apparently the LNBA published fake silver tolls amounting to 1.249 billion ounces. Take a look at this right here in March. Just so happens to be the month that the pressure was be putting on as far as physical silver goes, and that the at SilverSqueeze thing was full on for its May 1st deal. Which probably frightened them a little bit. I do want to point something out here to the at SilverSqueeze people at the Reddit group there, is that one of the big lies is that that the at SilverSqueeze is the one that started the rise in the price of silver, and the at SilverSqueeze Reddit group is the group that is causing silver to kind of magically disappear, physical silver to just run out. And that's kind of the impression given by some of the articles. If you go out there and you read, for example, where is it? There it is, right there. If you read Forbes or Bloomberg or most corporate media, the insinuation is that the SilverSqueeze group at Reddit, again, are the ones that have caused silver to disappear off the market. And that is not true at all. In fact, that's another big lie. And again, they're always lying to, especially corporate media, in my opinion. The fact is that this SilverSqueeze, this shortage has been going on for years and years and years. The LBMA has been lying for years and years. So has COMEX about what they hold in silver. And I've been reading this and doing this since 1977, really full-time. Since the 80s, so I'm really familiar with a lot of this stuff. But it's not until the last 20 years that I became really familiar with how silver was manipulated. Prior to really being on the internet, believe it or not, the internet has opened up a lot of things, good information, bad information, and everything in between. But no less, for years, we always wondered, especially after the 80s market, and the markets during the 90s, why silver wasn't going up, why gold wasn't going up. And the internet provided us a great opportunity to meet people like Ted Butler. Again, I really want to tell people that are not familiar with Ted Butler that he's one of the guys out there that you should be listening to. He's been talking about the issues with silver. Here's Ted Butler right here. Why silver price manipulation is the best reason to own it. Ted Butler crushing the short silver positions. Ted's been talking about this for 20-something years before the Reddit group was even invented. So this SilverSqueeze, this shortage of silver on the open market has been going on for years and years and years. And again, Ted's been talking about that for quite some time. I believe this is his website right here. Here we go. If you really want to get involved and technical in it, it's called Butler Research LLC. Again, Ted's been talking about manipulation. He's been talking about the CME, the LNBA, how they've been fudging the numbers for years and years and years. The man knows what he's talking about. So anyways, what we've got going on here is that the LNBA, out of fear that that there may be a squeeze and that they may have a big shortage, they actually do have a shortage. What they hope is that people don't ask for their silver, because it's been a big Ponzi scheme for a long time. And I think that the you know what, I will give the SilverSqueeze people a lot of credit. First thing, for the enthusiasm. The second thing is that for them just even recognizing the silver market is a great thing. But the enthusiasm's the next thing. But what I do want to tell is the Reddit SilverSqueeze people, you did not start it, you did not invent the SilverSqueeze. However, you will be, or can be, I should say, you can be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And who's the camel? The camel is the CME, the camel is the LNBA, the camel is all the people that have been lying to us for years and years and years. Again, not just the last few years since the Reddit group started, but for decades. So I have to give the SilverSqueeze some great kudos here, because you are the folks that can break the camel's back. You can break the system. I don't think that, I think the May 1st thing might have been a little bit disappointing for some SilverSqueeze people. However, you know, this is not about getting rich quickly. I think you can make a lot of money over some time by buying physical metals like this. But this is really about getting the CME and the LNBA and the people that have manipulated these markets for years to relinquish their positions. And that's exactly what's going to happen. If that the SilverSqueeze people start to grow, you know, the silver Reddit site starts to grow and more people get involved with it, and better information gets out there and better data gets out there, what's going to happen is more and more people are going to buy silver. This is going to bring more attention to this market, and more people are going to buy physical metals. That's a very positive thing. And again, that'll be the camel, I mean the camel, that'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back in this whole deal. So it's very important not to get frustrated. It's very important to keep buying physical silver and keep putting it away. Again, do you put all your money into precious metals? I wouldn't do that, man. Even Ted Butler would probably not just wouldn't tell you to do that. A certain amount of your assets should be invested in some type of precious metals. Is it 10% of your assets, 15%, 20%? I'm not quite sure. That's really your decision. But to put all your eggs in silver, no, I certainly wouldn't recommend that. Meanwhile, though, to be consistently putting away silver and gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against a falling dollar, a hedge against collapsing bubbles like the stock market, the housing market, and those other bubbles that are out there, it's a great thing to buy. It's a great thing to own. But no less, they've been lying to you for years. As you can see here, the LNBA got caught red-handed misleading people about false claims about the amount of silver they had. And that, I believe you can give credit to the SilverSqueeze Reddit group for that. I think that they were sitting on such a tight rope. They were on the edge. The LNBA was on the edge anyway, just because they've been on the edge for years to start with. Like I said, in 2019, it was tough to get silver. Before 2020 closures, it was tough to get large groups of silver or large amounts of silver. So this tightness has been going on for quite some time. 2020 has only exacerbated this issue so much more. Number one, because the mines were closed, the secondary metal refineries were closed for the most part, or weren't doing much business. So very little silver was coming into the system. So now is the epic best time in our history ever to squeeze these motherfuckers. Excuse my language, now's the time, folks. These liars, I should say, lying mother effers. Pardon my language here, but this is an adult show. I hope there's no children watching, and there shouldn't be. And let's take a look again, same thing here, LMB, the story just kind of getting around, making its rounds here in the silver market or in the silver news. Not quite sure if this story has made the rounds in corporate media. Has anyone seen it in Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, or Forbes yet? I haven't. The LBMA misleads silver market, so it's getting out there, and as I said, these folks lie all the time. And one of the things I wanted to point out to here is here, scope for a short squeeze. Silver is different in many ways. Here's Forbes' take on the short squeeze, and basically they're kind of just, God, they're just mouthpieces for the LNBA. Look at this here. Ready? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it right here. Scope for short squeeze. Silver is a different in many ways from individual stocks like GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, and many more. For instance, having a short squeeze in silver could be difficult because it is much deeper and more highly liquid market. Well, first off, here's the first big lie in this Forbes article, and I won't say it's a lie. What I am gonna say, it's just ignorance. A lot of people trust Forbes and CNBC and who is it? Bloomberg and all these different publications. They trust the reporters are really smart. They do their due diligence. They know what they're talking. They don't. This is the first good example in this article by, oh, lost my connection there. 1 second here. This is the first good example. And while I'm talking, I'm going to plug in my keyboard here. Sorry about that. My mouse, my Apple mouse. Okay. The first big lie right here is that that it has much deeper and a more highly liquid market. It's not much deeper. They don't have the silver. I mean, if this gentleman that wrote this article had any clue, he wouldn't have put that in there. And here he writes, for instance, GameStop's market cap was 1.4 billion in January, but increased 16 times when Reddit traders. If we look at the quantity of silver stored in London vaults, take a look at this. This is almost a joke, knowing what we know now. It is nearly 1.8 billion ounces of silver, according to the LBMA data released back in November 2020. This puts silver valuation stored in these vaults at almost 32 billion. Well, folks, guess what? We know that's a freaking lie. So, no less. And who propagates these lies? Well, people who think you could trust to read, like Forbes, like Bloomberg. And what do? They go out there and they give the general public, they give decision makers, they give people, policy makers, they give anyone that reads the Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, or these corporate financial publications will read stuff like this and say, oh, these guys are smart. They must know what they're talking about. This must be true. And you know what? All Forbes did here was just reiterate bullshit. All they did was just repeat nonsense and lies. And again, how do we know it's lies? Well, it was just proven to us that the LBMA lies about what they have in silver. And again, folks, this has been going on for a long time. The lie that Forbes is talking about right here on silver prices is supposedly goes back to November 2020. Well, that's my message to you folks in the Silver Squeeze at Silver Squeeze. Don't get disappointed. You didn't start the whole Silver Squeeze thing. You didn't start the shortage of silver out there, but you certainly can help end it. And I believe this is probably one of the best times ever to do it. The LBMA has been caught with their pants down. They've been caught in an outright lie. They don't own the metal. Either does the CME, COMEX. No, trust me, COMEX is just as sleazy, in my opinion, as the LMBA. So they don't have the metal that they say. So keep hitting them. Keep buying physical metals. No, don't spend your whole paycheck on it and throw your mortgage money in that. No, don't do that. But keep stacking and keep consistently buying out there and keep getting the word. Even more important is keep getting the word out there as far as getting your friends and your family and people you know and people online, your Facebook page, your Twitter page. Keep encouraging people to buy silver. Don't sound like one of the crypto kooks. You know what I mean? Oh, if you're not doing this, you're stupid. Or just encourage people. Give them good information why they should be buying metal, physical metal, and holding it themselves. And again, it has a good track record of 5,000 years, gold and silver. So it shouldn't be that too hard to do unless you just really hammer people. You got to put your money. No, you got to do it. You got to make it alluring. So anyways, and the other thing I wanted to let you know at Silver Squeeze people know is Butler Research LLC. You certainly, I think that everyone that's at Silver Squeeze Group should be reading Ted Butler. He does all kinds. All you got to do is type in your search engine up here, Ted Butler, and the word silver. He's got all kinds of videos of the real deal behind the silver price, why crooks and criminals, gold and silver suppression, upside imminent. Ted Butler. Ted Butler is the godfather of whistleblowers, and when it comes to silver manipulation, you need to know what this guy says and what he's been saying for 20 and 30 years now. Ooh, uses of silver. By the way, the thought occurred to me that silver is used in so many different things. It's used in electronics primarily. At one time, I heard that nuclear submarines had, like $1 million worth of silver on them. And my first thought was, why would a U.S. nuclear submarine have like $1 million? And this goes back 20 years ago when I heard this. And again, it may be just rumor, may be untrue, but makes sense now. I heard that nuclear submarines, because of the saltwater conditions, and the conditions they're in, use silver to plate, or not plate things, but to make sure that electrical connections held up. And they probably use gold as well, and that things would not corrode, because where do you not want corrosion? Well, on a nuclear sub, 1,000 feet under the water. But no less, a nuclear sub was just a good start for me to think about. You know, there's so many uses of silver. But what happens, especially in electronics, and electronics are such a big part of our life. I mean, electronics basically control our lives, more or less. We don't know if hurricanes are going to hit us unless we have electronics. We can't make communications break down unless you have electronics. And what is involved with electronics? Silver. Silver is heavily used in electronics. But this got me thinking here, what happens? What would happen if silver was all of a sudden considered a strategic metal? Is that a possibility? I don't know. I'm not going to do a whole show on this, but I just took a quick look to see what the top 5 strategic metals in the world are. Obviously, they're not silver. Titanium, uranium, magnesium, rhenium, tungsten would be the top 5 as far as this article goes, and what the top 5 strategic metals are, which strategic metals are metals that are vital to the importance of a nation, a country, and its people. However, I bet you a case could be made for silver at some point if the silver squeeze, if the silver shortage got to a point where there's just no or very little silver available for manufacturing of electronics. Could that be called a strategic metal? Could all of a sudden price controls be put on silver because of that? Well, that's a possibility. But meanwhile, keep stacking. This is just something of a topic I was thinking of here. And we'll probably delve more into that sometime in the future. I'm curious if it ever got to the point where physical silver was so expensive and so hard to buy, if they would call it a strategic metal and start to fix prices. Interesting question. Let me know what you think in comments. Well, let's take a look at prices here in CCE, see what the prices are. And let me just refresh this and see if they're up or down from where they were. Up a tiny bit. Let's take a look at the markets here. Overnight markets, 1823 since yesterday was the low, a high of 1843. We're sitting right in between there. Same thing with silver. Silver at 27.21 is a low, 27.71 is a high. Interesting. A high last night is 27.71. And kind of we're sitting in that between that level too. And platinum the same thing, 12.23, 12.47, sitting in the mid ranges. So we're in the mid-18s here almost, in the mid-27s, in the mid-12s here with platinum. And I like that. I like these slow, steady moves upwards. I think we're going to continue to see that. Next week I think we're going to be in the 1840s level for the most of the week, possibly, unless we see some monkey hammering, which is possible. And silver the same way. I think we're going to probably see it at 27.75. It's making these quarter moves the last few weeks. It's gone up a quarter, held it for a little while, gone down a little bit, then moved up another quarter. Gold kind of made its $1,800 move really explosively and really quick, and it's been hanging out and making these little $10 moves. Platinum just been staying in $1,200–1,300 range for quite some time now, months now. So I think at some time you're going to see platinum really just jump right through the roof as well. Well, what are the best deals out there as far as I'm concerned? I will tell you in a minute. Get to what you should be buying out there and what you shouldn't be buying. I'll kind of point out some products here before I close this video up. And let me take a look at yesterday's show. Gold and silver crash coming soon. Now, what I have noticed about YouTube, and anybody that does YouTube videos out there, is you can have the greatest content in the entire. You could say to yourself, man, I just did a video and I get some great content, and man, I really educated some people. I give them some really good information here. I was like 100% today. And I've had a lot of those days in the past here, and I'm getting new to YouTube. And what I have noticed that unless you have a good thumbnail, a good title for your videos, man, you could have the best frickin' content in the world and no one will see it. So it's like a catch-22 unless you put, what was my thumbnail here? I forget. Oh, yeah, silver crash coming soon. Unless you put like some really eye-catching thumbnails out there, you're not going to get new viewers, period. It's not going to happen. So I got to apologize. Hermosa Minerosa says, fear-mongering and crash, not going to happen. Well, Hermosa, I appreciate you watching. I really do. And I kind of think you made a comment before you watched my video, because in my video, What I talked about, crash, is a crash that is going to happen, most likely will happen in precious metals. It wasn't just a clickbait. What I hate is when someone puts in a thumbnail that has nothing to do with the video or completely the opposite to do with the video. My thumbnail yesterday about silver and gold crash coming soon. The coming soon is the only thing that may not be correct. It may be started next year, but I think it's going to be this year that we're going to see that crash in gold, silver, and platinum. And if you watch my video, you'll notice that what I was saying, it's going to be a flash crash type of deal. Same thing we had during the 2008 economic crisis. When the 2008 collapse happened, and I think it was October, whenever it was, gold and silver was on its way up, it was in a bull market, and gold and silver flash crashed with the rest of the market. There was a lot of reasons for that, and more than likely people had to liquidate their gold positions to cover other positions. But yeah, we did have a crash, and the bubble is even bigger now, Hermosa. The economic bubble, the equities bubble, is even bigger and greater than it was in 2008. So, in my opinion, I am pretty certain that when the equities bubble collapses, and it will at some point, that it's going to take gold and silver paper prices down with it. Now, here's the caveat: is in 2008, when gold went from 1,200 to like 800 bucks an ounce, like almost overnight, as did every other thing in the markets, the equity markets during the 2008 crash. You couldn't buy gold eagles, silver, anything. Silver eagles had as much of a premium then as they do now, oddly enough. So did gold eagles, and you were being told if you wanted silver in 2008 during the 2008 economic crash and the flash crash of precious metals, that you were going to wait 2 months to get your silver. Some very similar parallels, kind of odd, but we haven't had a flash crash. But again, it wasn't clickbait, it was the truth. I think we're going to see a crash, and the thing is that the only way you're going to be able to take advantage of a crash like that, a flash crash in metals, when it crashes with the rest of the equity markets, is if you take a paper position. I don't know how smart that will be. I'm thinking of it myself. If I see that flash crash, I am pretty sure that I will be able to buy no physical bullion. It's tough now to buy it. Can you imagine if it flash crashed? Impossible. The premiums would be even crazier than they are right now. Can you imagine a $400 premium on a gold eagle? I could in that scenario. Could you imagine paying $50 over for a silver eagle? I could in that scenario, and being told you have to wait 2 months. So yeah, I do see another flash crash coming when the economic bubble burst again, like it did in 2008. And what is my plan on that? Well, I'm going to toy with the idea of getting into the paper market real quick. Take some money, buy the ETFs or the paper stuff really, really super cheap, since I wouldn't be able to buy the real physical metals, and then just wait for that to go up. I'll talk more about that later, and again, I'm not sure that's a great idea. It's just something that crossed my mind. Let me go over a few comments here. Again, I'd like to thank all the viewers. Man, I can't even go over the comments like I used to. I used to love to go over each one and say thank you to everyone, but it's just getting too much now. Let me kind of just blow this up, and I want to thank all the names here that you see. I can't name you all, but I want to thank all the names here for their comments here. Psycho Killer says, brother, you need to swear more. The times call for it and it's healthy. I only heard it once this episode. F yeah for more S. Oh boy, yes sir. I got it. For the folks that don't like the F word and me cussing, I do apologize. I use it more as an emphasis, and it's earnest. I'm not just throwing it out there just to throw it out there. But thanks for the comment, Psycho. I appreciate it. Zip Fix Guitars, buying a lot of cool stuff out there, I see. Again, thanks for watching. Justin Borland, as I say, see, here I go. I want to answer everyone, but I just know I can't. Jim C. says, I can't miss this one. I know you go to Coin Shop, you say you buy local, but my LCS sucks. Local coin. I buy on auctions, and this week I won again. Well, I'm cool with that, Jim. I think you can buy on auctions and stuff like that. And if you can go out there and get it shipped to you and you're buying real stuff, my biggest concern in buying auctions is that getting fake stuff. And unless you're buying from a dealer that absolutely knows what he's looking at, you risk that buying fake gold coins or fake silver coins on eBay or in auctions. You just risk it. That's a fact. Even the person you bought it from probably doesn't even know it's fake, more than likely. They're genuine about it. And then when you go back to tell them it was fake, they're going to look at you like you're trying to rip them off. But no less, that's why I'm really big about buying from experienced local dealers. And again, Jim, if you don't have a local dealer in your city, you should check in your county. Or if you have to drive an hour and keep the money in your state, do it, Jim. Don't be buying online. I mean, I shouldn't say that. You're doing okay. As long as you're buying real stuff, you're doing okay. But I think it's better to keep the money in state myself. And why would you be making eBay richer and PayPal richer by paying fees, even if the buyer or seller is paying fees? It just doesn't make sense to me. Keep that money local. And again, that's my opinion. Thanks for watching, Jim. Barry Williams. Is this the Barry Williams, a family friend of mine up in North Florida? I think it is. You've been commenting a lot. So, oh boy, where'd I go? There we go. And thanks for watching, Barry. I really appreciate it. Again, I could just go into thank each and every one of you. Biden's dark winter is coming, but I'm not sure that gold and silver takes a big bath this time, as the Fed's only alternative is to print there in a corner with no room to run. I think you're right, Kentucky. That's really possible out there. But what I do see happening is, again, if we see a economic crash in equities and everything, you will see a flash crash in metals. I'm not quite sure how to approach that yet. Dumb Things You See is a great local customer of mine. Listen, I really appreciate you watching Dumb Things You See. He's got some good points here. Again, pause it right here if you would in your pause button, and you can read what Dumb Things You See. He comes up with some good points here. I want to repeat every one of these again. If I start going all over the every comment out here, we'll be here for an hour. I could do a whole show just on comments. Trust me. You don't want me to do that. Again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And let's move into the best deals of the day here. I like to just kind of put gold and silver in my search engine up here. And as you notice, I like DuckDuckGo because they don't spy on you like Google and the other ones do. Well, if they're spying on you, they're certainly not selling my information to resellers or people trying to spam me with product. So anyway, type gold and silver and bullion up here, and I like the pictures here. And I'm going to show you visually things that you should and should not be buying, in my opinion. All these products right here are coins. None of them are cheap. What is the best deal in this picture right here? Well, the best deal in this picture is going to be Krugerrands. If you can find Austrian Hill Philharmonics and they cost you spot plus $100 or less, let me say spot plus $110 or less, or $100 or less, that's not too bad. Even though buying gold bars at $60 to $80 over spot is $85, I should say. $60 to $85 over spot is a much better buy. As far as Philharmonics go, like I said, or I'm sorry, I was just talking about Philharmonics. So if you can buy them for less than $110 or 100 over spot, great. Same thing with Krugerrands, that's great. The worst deals on this page are going to be Buffalo's First, overpriced by crazy numbers. I think they're getting spot plus 200. Eagles are still in that 170 to 190 over spot range. Too much money. Maples, I think, are going to be a little bit better deal at spot plus anywhere from $105 to $120 from what I've seen online. Again, as you know, I advertise to beat APMEX, SD Bullion, and JM Bullion. They're great companies, but I always recommend that you buy local. Don't buy online. Keep that money in your city, in your county, or at least in your state. That's my opinion. Find yourself a good local dealer that's been in the business for 10 years and ask them to beat or match the big online sellers. If they will, most likely they will. Keep your money local, folks. As far as silver goes, the best deals out here are going to be probably silver bars, 100-ounce bars, hands down. I still have good availability on those. You can get those for anywhere from spot plus $4 to $4.50 over, and maybe even a little cheaper than $4 if you're going to buy a huge quantity of them. So silver 100-ounce bars are the best deal out there. 1s and 10s are very difficult to get. I suspect that 1s and 10s are going to be running in that $4.50 to $5.50 over spot. I can get 1 ounce and 10-ounce bars of silver right now. I can order them for you guys. They're going to run you spot plus $4.50. I can get them a little bit cheaper as well if you're ordering in larger quantities, but delivery could be 2 months out, 3 months out. It might be 2 or 3 weeks out, but I'm not going to promise that. It could be a couple months out. So that stuff is available. As far as immediate delivery, I do have 90% and 100-ounce silver bars for immediate delivery. Well, that's really about it. Not much to talk about right now. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out and let you know what the best deal is out there. And that's really about it. Again, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day, and talk to you soon.